Morning, everybody. And what are your 3 things of gratitude this morning? So mine are that I actually managed to get some sleep last night because I had to go and pick up Wolfgang. He missed the last tram from Manchester when he was at his conference. So that was fun and nice. So I'm a little bit later this morning because I thought, well, I'm not going to set my alarm and I'll just see what time I wake up. And I just wake up anyway now. So even though it was a little bit later, just even waking up naturally rather than being forced to wake up by the alarm. So yes, I'm just a little bit later this morning. It's nice and cozy warm here, so that's good. And I've got my protein shake, vegan, full of absolutely everything that I need. There's even greens in there. That's why it looks a little bit green. So I've got every vitamin going first thing this morning. So this morning's article is The Common Denominator of Success by Albert Gray. Again, it's from Thinking into Results program. So Albert Gray's speech, The Common Denominator of Success. Years of experience as a successful executive helped Mr. Gray find answers to the questions you probably asked yourself. Questions like, how can I avoid failure in my new career? How can I manage to succeed in my new profession? Mr. Gray crystallized his thoughts about all these common but important doubts that we've all had experience of at some time during our lives. And he incorporated them into a speech called The Common Denominator of Success. So this is what it is. This is really good, this one. I absolutely love this. I realized that the secret I was trying to discover lay not only in what people did, but also what made them do it. And that even though he was trying to manage people, that he actually realized that he was lacking the most important secret of all, and that was the secret of success. He had thought that it was about, hard work, but hard work was not the real secret, even though in most cases it might be one of those requirements. And he wanted to know basically what made people be successful. So he realized that the secret which he was searching for must not only apply to every definition of success, but since it must apply to everyone to whom it was offered, it must also apply to everyone who had ever been successful. He was looking for the common denominator. Common denominator of success. Are you ready for it? Exciting. Da, da, da. The common denominator of success. The secret of success of every person who has ever been successful lies in the fact that they formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. Let me read that again. They formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. Naturally, because the things that failures don't like to do are the things that you and I and other human beings, including successful people, naturally don't like to do. In other words, we've got to realize right from the start that success is something which is achieved by the minority of people and is therefore unnatural and not to be achieved by following our natural likes and dislikes, nor being guided by our natural preferences and prejudices. Now, how many times do we not do something, because we go, oh, that doesn't feel right. Yeah, or better not do that. It doesn't feel good. Well, that's because it's outside of your comfort zone. So it's unnatural. Therefore, that's what you must follow if you want to be successful. It's about doing what doesn't feel right. Yeah, that's what's brilliant. So let me read that again because it's really, really important. Success is something which is achieved by the minority of people and is therefore unnatural and not to be achieved by following our natural likes and dislikes, nor by being guided by our natural preferences and prejudices. Okay, I think it's really important. From one of the basic dislikes common to all of us is we don't like to talk to people about something they might not want to talk about. It's so funny, isn't it? Any reluctance to approach someone to suggest a change in their activity, to persuade them to take a new approach, is caused by this one basic dislike. Isn't that funny? But if we think, oh God, they might feel uncomfortable. So say in network marketing, for example, people are scared to actually approach other people because, oh God, they might want to talk about that and, change, so I better not talk to them about it. So we don't do it. Yeah. I mean, we get it all inside us all the time, like, oh, and we make whole discussions in our head, don't we, before we've even had the conversation with somebody. Well, I've done that before anyway, so I know. Perhaps you wondered what it is behind this peculiar lack of welcome on the part of those we're trying to persuade. Isn't it due to the fact that our prospects are human too? And isn't it true that the average human being is highly resistant to change, even when it's for their own improvement, and is therefore prone to escape our efforts to persuade them to do something they don't want to do by striking at the most important weakness we possess, namely our desire to be appreciated? Isn't that funny? We don't want to ask somebody to do something because we're afraid that they won't like us and appreciate us. Something to think about. Successful people are influenced by the desire for pleasing results. Failures are influenced by the desire for pleasing methods and are inclined to be satisfied with the results that they get. So again, listen to that one. So we tend to think, I don't like doing this. I'll just accept the results and then be upset with the results. But successful people are looking at the results and the outcome, so they'll do whatever method it takes. That to me was really quite profound. Successful people have a purpose. So I'm just checking on the time here to make sure that I don't go over 10 minutes. Successful people have a purpose. And sometimes when the best producers get into a slump, when a person gets into a slump, it simply means that they have reached a point at which, for the time being, the things they don't like to do have become more important than the reasons for doing them. When you've got a purpose that is so gets you out of bed every morning, that, like for me, to lie in bed, especially during a weekday, is just like, no, I've got things to do. I have an absolute purpose that drives me. And that's where when we set goals, that we set goals that are up here, not goals that are here that are just like, yeah, well, if I push myself a little bit, I'll get there. But when you have a real motivating goal, like Bob calls it a C-type goal, then that's the goal that gets you out of bed, because nothing's going to stop you from that. So nothing's stopping me from my purpose, let me tell you. Okay. It's easier to adjust ourselves to the hardships of a poor living than it is to adjust ourselves to the hardship of making a better one. Think about that one. Listen to this. If you doubt me, just think of all the things that you're willing to go without in order to avoid doing the things you don't like to do. Like, say, I know that I've got a message, 20 people, or make that awkward phone call. Yeah, make that awkward phone call. Well, I'll just clean the house first. I don't even like cleaning the house. But, I'll find anything to distract. We are so busy chasing distractions today that actually we don't like to do that. And then it gets to the end of the day and we think, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow. And then the same thing happens again. So that was funny. So listen to that one again. It is easier to adjust ourselves to the hardships of a poor living than it is to adjust ourselves to the hardships of making a better one. All of which seems to prove that the strength that holds you to your purpose is not your own strength, but the strength of the purpose itself. So how strong is your purpose? When you've got that strong purpose, your purpose will drive you every single day. People are creatures of habit, just as machines are creatures of momentum. For habit is nothing more or less than momentum translated from the concrete to the abstract. It's just quite interesting. Can you picture the problem that you would face, our mechanical engineers, if there were no such thing as momentum? Speed would be impossible because the highest speed at which any vehicle could be moved would be first speed at which it started. Elevators couldn't be made to rise, airplanes could not be made to fly, and the entire world of mechanics would find itself at a total state of helplessness. So that's what we mean, is about the purpose gets you going. And if you keep doing this stuff every single day, then you get into momentum. But whenever you stop, start, you're not going to get anywhere. So that's the same as a car or an airplane. I mean, an airplane would never get off the ground, would it? It just would never get off the ground. So that's what it's saying. So every single qualification for success is acquired through habit. People form habits and habits form futures. If you do not deliberately form good habits, then unconsciously you will form bad ones. You are the kind of person you are because you have formed the habit of being that kind of person. And the only way that you can change is through changing your habits. The success habit for any area of our achievement can be divided into 4 main groups: contacting habits, calling habits, persuading habits, and working habits. Right, there's about a couple more pages here, but I think because I'm just starting to talk, so that's what we'll talk about tomorrow. So we'll literally talk about those 4 different habits tomorrow morning. So contacting habits, calling habits, persuading habits, and working habits. This document is just so amazing. I mean, one of the things, just the statements that I would remember from this morning is successful people are influenced by the desire for pleasing results, and failures are influenced by the desire for pleasing methods and are then have to be satisfied with whatever results you get. And the fact that being successful is actually unnatural, and don't follow your natural likes and dislikes or your natural preferences and prejudices. If you want something different to happen, it's going to have to feel unnatural and illogical. So tomorrow we'll talk about those habits that you can form that will make you successful. So there you go. That was The Common Denominator of Success by Albert Gray from Thinking into Results. That way. And have a lovely day. I hope you enjoyed it. See ya.